What's up YouTube? Welcome back to another video here on EMKWAN Reviews. I'm EMKWAN, peace and blessings to all out there. Now, as you can tell by the title of this video, today I'm going to be talking about the ROLEX Oyster Perpetual 39mm reference 11-4300. Now, I have been inundated by you guys asking me to do a 1-year review of the watch because it's been actually over a year since I got this. This was the darling announcement from Rolex at Baselworld 2015. I managed to get my hands on this in October of 2015. I have been through quite a journey with this watch in terms of really wanting it to kind of doubting it to really appreciating it. And what I wanted to do in this video was to, instead of give you like a bog standard review, talk about 3 things that I love about the watch and 3 things that I dislike about the watch. Not necessarily hate, but things that you might want to consider if you're thinking about picking one of these up. There are a lot of things to like about this watch. So in total, I'm going to mention 4 things that I like about this watch. So I'll leave 1 to right at the end. Before I get into this, if you're new to the channel, please do hit that subscribe button. You'll find it somewhere down below and you'll be notified whenever any of these type of videos go live on the channel. And if you're an existing subscriber, find that bell button that's usually next to subscribe. Click that bell button so that you're notified whenever a video goes live through your phone or through email. Right, on with today's video. So let's talk about the things that I love about the OP 39mm. The first thing has to be in terms of its simplicity. This is one of the first Rolex watches that really got me passionately involved into Rolex. Prior to this, I kind of was aware of Rolex. One of the things that, perhaps down to my own ignorance, arrogance as well, was the fact that I kind of assumed that Rolex wasn't luxury enough. How wrong was I about that? The first time I walked into a dealer here in Abu Dhabi, a Rolex dealer, I remember kind of looking at Tudor watches and talking to the guy about how I wanted a watch that was really classy, really simple. And he called me over to the Rolex booth and he said, look, I'm going to show you something that's clean, without a cyclops, and I think you'll like it. So I said, okay. And then he put this in my hand and I fell completely in love. I remember that because the moment that I saw it, I was like, wow, I want this. This is the first Rolex that I really wanted to purchase. Simplicity. This thing is unbelievably simple but elegant at the same time. It's quintessentially Rolex. There's no complications. There's no sort of break in the uniformity. There's no cyclops there. What you see is what you get. It's a 3-hand, simple watch. But it's done so very well. I love the sunburst grey dial. I love how there are blue pips around the hour markers. It's just put together really well. And, you know, that brings me on to point number 2, which is that this is such a versatile watch. Out of all of the watches that I own, I think this is the most versatile watch because this can go with super smart, such as sort of clothing for work, and it can also go with sort of jeans, a t-shirt. It does that really well. The final thing, well, not the final thing, but one other thing that I want to talk about in terms of why I love this watch is in the fact that it is a workhorse. Inside here, you have the 3132 in-house caliber movement from Rolex, which is also the same caliber that you find in the Explorer 1 for a much lower price than the Explorer 1. Over the year that I've had it, I've found that in terms of accuracy, it's been remarkable. The caliber 3132 is one of those that you can really use day in, day out. It won't require regular servicing, service once every 10 years. This is what I was told from Rolex. So in terms of what powers this thing, I mentioned this in my original unboxing, it's essentially a tank in a tux. So that's another reason to love the Rolex. So those are the 3 reasons. I'm going to mention one more positive reason right at the end of this video. But let's talk about the things that I've disliked or the things that you should be aware of that might be a little negative. The first thing is that it's a simple dial. And sometimes in low light that can be an issue because you don't have luminescent material on the hour markers. You only have it at the 3, 6, and 9, and then the hands for the hour and minutes. So it means that sometimes in low light, I noticed almost immediately when I got it, it was a little difficult to see the dial. So that's something that I suppose, you know, if you're going to be using in certain low light conditions, you might want to be aware of. It would have been nice for Rolex to include chroma light, because there's not much in terms of lume coming from the dial. So to add chroma light, would have gone really well with those blue pips on the outside, but also would have meant that, you know, the light, the lume light would have lasted a little longer. Point number 2, unfortunately, the clasp on this is something that you are not able to adjust. This is a standard Rolex Oyster clasp, so it means that, you know, what you would find on the Submariner, well, not the Submariner, but what you'd find on a GMT or on a Explorer 2 is not going to be available on this. And those clasps have the ability for you to add an extra 0.5 millimeter to 1 millimeter, and they can make all the difference, particularly in a climate like this. Here in Abu Dhabi, I find every 6 to 7 months, I have to actually pull out my tool and adjust this manually, which isn't a major issue, but still, it would be nice to be able to do that on the go, off the cuff. That is one of those things that I kind of wish Rolex had included on this. Explorer 1 has that, and I suppose that's part of the reason why you're going to pay extra to get that Explorer 1, but that might be something to consider. The third point, and really this is something that doesn't affect me, but I've seen this brought up by other people, is the fact that, you know, the styles on the OP 39 millimeters, you've got the Orodium dial with the blue pips, you've got a blue dial, sunburst dial with the green pips, and then you've got a grape with kind of a pink or red pips. Some people find that a little too modern, a little too colorful, which isn't the case for me, but I have, like I said, heard that being brought up, and that might be something, again, to consider. But those are the reasons why I suppose you could dislike the OP 39mm. Let's talk about the final reason why I love this. The final reason why I love this is the price point. This is one of the lowest, not this particular model, but the OP generally, is one of the lowest priced Rolexes to get onto the Rolex bandwagon. And if you think about it, if you compare it to what some of the other brands have at a similar price point, it's a good buy because A, you get onto the Rolex bandwagon in itself is something. B, in terms of resale value, when you come to resell it, if you ever do, you're going to get much better resale value with a Rolex OP than you would do with another model from another company. The other thing is that it's actually a whole lot similar to the Explorer 1 without the additional almost $1,500 to $2,000 price difference. With the same internals, essentially, with that 31-32 movement, yes, okay, the clasp isn't as good, but if you can overlook that, then you're actually getting yourself a versatile watch, which really, if you were to have one watch that would last you through life, that you could wear for smart, for casual sort of moments, then you really can't go wrong with an Oyster Perpetual reference 11-4300. And that's it, guys. That is it for this video. If you've enjoyed it, please remember to find that like button, leave a comment down below as well, and I will post up some other videos that are related to watches. Do go and check those out as well. Until next time, I'm EMKWAN. I'll see you in the next video. Live life, peace, and blessings.